You ready, Alan?
Yeah. Now, technically, I did review this already.
No, you didn't review it. You did an early reaction.
Early reaction.
Early reaction.
Of which I described the first 20 minutes, and apparently that was too much.
I've now seen the film, and I think I liked it a lot better than you did. Babylon is written and directed by Damien Chazelle. Of course, you did La La Land and First Man. It stars Margot Robbie as a woman who becomes big in silent film and then needs to talk. Brad Pitt as Jack Conrad, who is an actor, I mean, kind of based on maybe Errol Flynn. And Tobey Maguire is, well, he's in the movie. I don't want to spoil exactly what his role is, but Diego Calva plays a character named Manuel, who is just a guy who got hired to deliver a horse to a party in a mansion. And the opening scene, the horse poops on everything. And then you go to this mansion and this party goes on and on.
Hold on. It wasn't a horse. It was an elephant.
What am I saying? An elephant. Did I say horse? Oh my God.
And the horse poops on the elephant poops on everyone.
The elephant poops on everyone. Alan, I'm tired.
And again, we're talking the first 10 minutes of this movie.
This is the first 10 minutes. Oh, horse. All right. So the elephant is delivered after like a scene that just the audience was howling. I saw it in a packed theater. Audience was howling during the scene. Come to this party, which Margot Robbie's character shows up. Jack Conrad is there. Brad Pitt. A bunch of other side characters that become more prominent later. This party is nonstop. I mean, it's just there are naked people having sex just openly at this party, like Eyes Wide Shut. But in Eyes Wide Shut, it's like one short scene that's like maybe 2.5 minutes. In this, it's like the first 20 minutes of the movie is this party that's boom, 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 boom. It's like a rave.
Cocaine and it's sex. It's all
cocaine, sex, drug sex. We're like debauchery. There's like hookers who just don't live through the night. Bad things are happening. It's just early Hollywood debauchery. But it's the next day. Jack Conrad kind of hires Manuel, and brings him on a film set, and suddenly he's got a job. He's got to get a film camera before they lose the light. And here's my problem with this. I love movies about the movie business. I love movies about movies, and that is I'm a very narrow audience. This is about the transition from silent film to sound film and how difficult that era was. Singing in the Rain is kind of about that, right? Like,
this movie is pretty much the origin story of Singing in the Rain.
Exactly. And Manny, you see the movie is kind of through his eyes, which I actually really like. It's through his eyes. So he's almost like the reporter in Citizen Kane. The reporter in Citizen Kane, that's the person's eyes we're seeing the story through. And Manny, though he's sort of this background character who's always around the events, the important events and the things that are happening, and he kind of moves his way up by just being willing to do whatever. And I love that. So the story isn't focused on him, but he's always there. It's more about, Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. And then eventually Tobey Maguire, that scene with Tobey Maguire, which I don't want to go into in the last chunk of the movie, is just awesome. And then there's so the thing is this, I love movies about old Hollywood. So I actually like this movie a lot more than I'm willing to admit, a lot more than I think you did. And I know Eric Weber wasn't a fan. I actually really like this film. I don't know if it's a 10 out of 10. For me, it's more of a 7.5 out of 10, but I really enjoyed the film. It is nearly 3 hours. It's I didn't find it.
It is the same length as Avatar.
It's like the same length. So it's incredibly self-indulgent. It's the movie industry talking about itself. And it's I think it's crazy that this film even got made. I mean, the nudity is just like, it's just, from that opening scene, like anything can happen, right? And I thought that so it's over the top crazy where you're like, I can't even believe they made this film. it goes that far. But I quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed it to the point where I might even go see it again. I might even go see the movie again. So I think that you disagree with me. Is that right, Alan?
Oh, my general feeling about the movie is, you know, we've said about Avatar, it's long. It is long and it drags at times. And a 3-hour movie that drags is not good. I will say this: I enjoyed. There are some really good moments. There are 3 moments to me that really stand out and were the highlight of the movie to me. One was Margot Robbie's character, her first time on a set, and the first time that they're doing sound on the set. There's another scene with Eric Roberts and a rattlesnake, and then there's they're shooting this big war battle, and you know, I guess they hadn't invented stuntmen at that point, so.
True.
But yeah, and then, you know, it's it is one of those movies where it doesn't get better. You know, it's a noir in a way that just things get worse and worse and worse for everybody, and it becomes relentless. And again, you're sitting here for 3 hours and you're just getting smacked. And that whole scene with Tobey Maguire, as great as it was, it's a depressor. And so it's not a movie. I guess I'm glad I saw it one time. I'm just not compelled to want to see it again.
Well, look, it is sort of a spiraling down, right?
Yeah.
Like of the careers.
Very rough. It's a rough spiral too.
It's
not
a rough. So
rough.
you meet these characters at their height. You know, they're making movies everybody loves. They're stars. And then the sound era comes in and things change. You see how difficult. There's a really interesting scene where Margot Robbie's character is just trying to hit the mark and say one line.
Yeah.
And it goes on forever. And but I love it. I love it.
No, the movie has great moments. It's just the moments in between those great moments that just kind of drag on. And I'll say a fourth great moment is this conversation between Gene Smart and Brad Pitt at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
just talking about his career. That was an amazing conversation. And I would almost say that maybe that conversation is worth the movie.
And then there is one thing that I would have liked this movie a lot more, except for one thing. There is a montage at the end of the movie that I thought was horrible. They had me, and that montage was the worst thing. It was kind of bringing you to the present day Hollywood.
Okay.
And I thought it was, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, now I do. Yeah.
That was terrible. So I can see why Solomon Thornton is saying Eric Weber destroyed this film.
Yeah, he hated it.
Eric didn't like it, but I understand why he didn't like it. I'm telling you, I got more out of it than that. So there you go. But
I just feel like it's a chore to get through. It felt like a chore. And I, you know, with all these 3-hour movies that we've been watching this year, you know, it was just work. And I don't like that. I don't like having to do that.